What is util DPS? The best way I'd like to put it is it's a kit that is focused on winning games, fights, and team fights through pieces of utility, not just outright lethality. Other DPS may kill someone via just a crazy headshot, a crazy shot, applying a ton of pressure via DPS with literally damage per second, whereas the util DPS is able to do that job through typically just their abilities, which are able to change the way a fight is played. They kind of help support and aid their team. Obviously, they're not a support, they're not a healer or anything, and they're not a tank, but they're able to provide some sort of support and assistance to the team. Simply, they have abilities that give you and your team something and are able to change the way a fight is played. Their value is not dictated in how quickly they can kill someone. It's more of how can they really, really get into the game and change it. It sounds dumb to say change the way it's played, but it makes sense with these characters. So the current util DPSs that I say that currently are still in the game, nice and strongly, you've got Mei. Mei first up. Mei is quite obvious. War is a way of manipulating the battlefield by warping angles. So if someone's looking one way, now they can't. You create a new angle for yourself. You create pieces of cover for your team and you're able to split off enemies. You're able to reach spots that were otherwise not reachable by a floor character typically. It's a piece of utility. It doesn't outright do damage, but it can result in the death of someone by splitting an angle, by splitting a fight, by creating something that gives your team an advantage in a fight. She also, I'll count this, has a slow on her right click. That's probably not, I mean, that's not going to show it. You always have to find a moving target. It's obviously not that crazy, as this is more of just damage that slows, but as you can tell, it slows down the target. So there is a bit of util there. And then her ultimate is a massive piece of utility, especially with the perk granting the move speed and the healing. It really is. Yeah, allies gain 25% increased move speed and the heal. So it's really good. It's a massive freeze. It slows everyone, does damage, gives you and your team move speed and heals you. I think Blizzard is just a huge util ult, especially that perk. It allows for a lot more interest in play to happen. And then a pretty obvious one, Symmetra. Symmetra's teleporter is probably just the real kicker here. You're able to instantly flip the fight, completely relocate you and your entire team to a new angle, disengage from a fight, engage into a fight. You're able to flip people so that they are playing in the middle. So if you think about the fight like a circle and everyone's playing on the outside, when you flip, you essentially are putting those enemies in the middle. You're not outright killing them, but you put them in a position where they will die to your team or you via utility. Turrets, I count this, shows where people are through wars. So that's pretty good. Then there's also, obviously, where the fuck is the thing? Here. The war. An ult that doesn't do any damage, doesn't kill anything, doesn't even... It's literally just a war. It's a massive piece of utility that results in typically a teamfight win if done, used correctly, right? So yeah, Sim is a definitive util DPS. And that, in my opinion, are the only two current DPSs that are primarily focused on utility. I'm going to go over a couple more that I think secondarily have that util that you can use. That includes, this sounds dumb, a character like Junkrat. He's very much focused on his burst down potential with mines, right? But he has a trap as a piece of utility. But it's nothing crazy. His kit doesn't revolve around the trap. Sombra, still kind of. She's definitely been focused a lot more on her burst lethality through virus. But at the same time, hack is still a piece of util. It locks people out. It shows you where they are through wars. It is a good piece of util. But it's not her primary focus anymore, so she's more of a secondary to the util aspect. And then even technically to a degree Hanzo, because Sonic Arrow, again, is utility. But it's more so you can easily land a one-shot on someone. So I almost don't want to count it. So yeah, it's a bit iffy there. But those are examples of utility in characters. I named two. Mei and Symmetra are both your primary focus on utility, and then the other ones are kind of just that secondary. They also use util within their kit. Old Sombra. I am aware that old versions of this character are extremely unhealthy for the game. And even current day Sombra isn't good for the game. And any of these old characters I talk about, I'm not trying to say the design itself is healthy for the game. I just want to talk about the general like direction and idea behind the util focus in these heroes. So, old Sombra had a massive focus on your setup and tactical. I call it like a tactical assassination, but it's not really you doing the damage. It's more of you set it up so your team can basically just insta-kill this one guy. Hack was used as an actual piece of utility. Nowadays, it is used to set up a virus combo, or it's not even used at all because it's more efficient just to virus off rip and shoot someone. So hack is kind of a stupid ability. I think it's bad for the game. I don't think ability look out is fun. But right now it definitely doesn't have any of its like power that it may have used to have. So Sombra's kit used to basically revolve around setting up for that hack. Hack being utility. So again, the primary focus of this character was her util. Hack used to lock out for like 6 seconds, which is crazy. But obviously it was still harder to get off, and it felt a lot more like you were punishing a mistake, less so than you would just getting a free, you know, you weren't typically getting that free hack off. It felt more like that guy kind of almost deserved to be hacked. Is it fun to play against? No, but he still deserved to be hacked almost. So it's hard to really, you know, it's hard to justify, but it made sense. EMP, still a team ability, but the focus, especially in Old Sombra, was your team, because it didn't do damage to people, and it's like you have virus to follow up and kill people, and you don't have the Overwatch 2 Sombra where you do additional damage to hacked targets. They just all got hacked, and that was about it. Incredible ability, incredible ultimate, but it wasn't a selfish, I mean, it could be used selfishly, but it was definitely focused around the util aspect of Sombra, not the damage aspect. She really did lack the ability to just kill someone. Similarly, I don't know how you fuck this word, to Symmetra. Symmetra can kill people, obviously, but she requires that follow-up or that really good usage of her util to secure that kill. If you just blunt fight a Symmetra, you will probably kill her. Same with Old Sombra. Old Sombra just wasn't that 1v1 style character at all. She didn't really hold her own at all. Nowadays, Sombra isn't perfect, but if she hits virus, she probably can easily win that fight. So there's a little more there. And how do I prefer that? I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But it's just saying that the focus wasn't on damage. That was the direction that the dev team would go in with that hero. I want to emphasize this if I haven't made it obvious. It's not that she had more utility. It's that her focus and her gameplay loop was around and centered around the utility. She focused on providing util to her team, not killing people. Her focus really is on the burst lethality. And again, I'm not saying which is more healthy or which one. I don't think burst lethality is healthy either. But I'm not saying one design's more healthy than the other one. It's more of just the principle of the design. She's now focused about, you know, moving across the map and trying to one-shot people. And that's really it, right? Old Sombra clearly was focused on util, and that's it. That's all I would say about that. Moving on to a very old style of character. The character got reworked in Overwatch 2, and so yeah, this is old, but it is I think a example of utility being used in a kit instead of how today I feel like a lot of the heroes lack that, but there was a clear direction and an idea for this character to have util, and it's Old Torb. Old Torb had armor packs, which was a piece of utility that he provided to himself and the team. Yes, Old Torb, he sucked. The game's health was terrible with Old Torb. He's not good, right? But it shows off an idea in his kit, that armor pack idea. It shows that the dev team then, and again, I'm not saying the dev team then is better than the one now. Actually, I'd argue the one now is better than them, but I'm saying at that time, they wanted to provide utility to their characters. And that is evident here in Torb's kit. It just is. He had a weird gameplay loop where he was able to like collect scrap in the map, and he was able to give out armor packs and heal his turret and things like that, right? Yes, his gameplay loop was focused more around the turret than it was providing the armor. But I just want to highlight the fact that it's more about the forgottenness of utility DPS, and that is a piece that used to exist. Yeah, it's not that I prefer this version of Torb. It's just I like going for something unique on DPS. I think it's always interesting when you try make DPS more than just like gun shoots people. Those are a lot of the DPSs I do like. I like to gravitate towards. I might not play as much long term. I also think with Torb, there is an interesting like engineer style route that you could technically go with him. Obviously, they're going to leave him as he is now because it's fine. But I do like the idea that he was able to... Essentially, he was able to play the game as Torb and then provide something as a reward for his efforts, right? Like collecting scrap to give armor, but also maybe he could give something else, and he could just... There's something there that I think is cool. Maybe not for everyone, but I think it's cool. I think his gameplay loop was bad, but armor packs aren't the reason it was that bad, right? Alright, I'm going to briefly touch on Old May, because this is a terrible design, and I don't even think it really counts, because May was basically the same, but she could freeze people. That is a piece of util. Again, the whole point of all of this is just highlighting when there was util in DPS. That's really it. Not design, health, talk. Old May sucked to play against massively, but technically the freeze is a piece of utility, so I just wanted to bring it up. Alright, let's move on to lack of new heroes. So the new heroes in Overwatch 2 are Sojourn, Venture, Freya, and now Vendetta. And not that I even dislike these characters. In fact, I quite like a few of them. They just definitely are a lot more selfish and damage focused. So let's just pick one of these, right? Let's pick Sojourn, the first one, right? This is the most obvious one. She just charges a rail and tries to one-shot someone. That's her gameplay loop, essentially. There's no utility here. It's completely selfish, deal damage, whatever. Is it bad? Again, guys, I want to preface this even more. I am not talking about whether or not the design itself is even good. I'm just talking about util not being present in the game as much. That's all I'm going to say. Technically, Deceleration Field is actually a piece of utility, but this was... It feels a little more lackluster. It's not the same as other util. And then we get Venture. Venture, again, no util here. It's all just a burst damage combo. And that's already it. And mobility. Mobility and burst damage. And then you get Freya. Exact same thing. Mobility and burst damage. Like that's really it. Right. You could argue Bola slows people, but I think it's a bit of a reach. And then yeah, Vendetta. Vendetta is zero util. Like this is just a damage character. There is absolutely not a single piece of util in this character kit. Like not even an arguable amount. I'm going to preface this even more. I like these characters. It's just evident that util is not the dev's focus anymore. I mean, it wasn't even a focus before, but it's evident that they don't think about it or try implement any of it. I like the direction of high mobility, unique primary weapons, but I will say I think that has been all they've really been doing with recent eras, especially DPS, particularly, what I'm on about. I like these things, maybe not burst, but I would love to see a new character that provides some unique piece of utility. And I don't need full-blown util kits. Like, we don't need necessarily Symmetra, right? I just would like a character that is able to provide some unique thing that other characters can't. It's kind of like we just get characters that just get cycled as, oh, we're not playing Tracer here, we can just play Venture. It's kind of the same type of deal, right? Oh, we're not playing, like, Freya Sojourn, I kind of fill in the exact same niche here of just a hyper-mobile burst character. And Vendetta's like the melee version of this. And it's, again, not that these characters aren't fun. It's just more of, I would like a really unique push that's like, oh, that's different. You play that when you have to play that. Like, May is not a bad character in pro play or high rank. She's not always picked, though, because she provides something other characters can't. But you don't need that thing always. And that's kind of what I'm getting at. It's hard to do this, and so I understand that I will probably never see it happen, at least anytime soon. Especially because I don't think we can get new DPS for a bit, probably. And yeah, I understand it's hard to come up with unique util. It's more fun to just like create a unique way of dealing damage. Like, you know, think about like Freya, Sojourn, Vendetta, Venture. These are all very unique primary weapons that we haven't seen before. And my conclusion: util DPS has largely, seemingly, been uncared for, and is quite unliked by a large majority of the player base. Not many people play these characters. I really do see potential, though, in this really weird subcategory of DPS. Yeah, I always find it unique to have a role that's focused on damage, have these really weird util forward characters that can like just shape a way a fight is played. It's not just straight up damage, it's manipulation, and it's interesting. Maybe this playstyle is outdated in Overwatch 2. Maybe I'm delusional, maybe I'm crazy. Maybe someone out there shares the same enjoyment for this weird style of character and would like to see it be more present. And yeah, my little summary. I like the new characters they're adding. I like mobility. I like unique primary weapons. And I like this all. I'm just pointing out there has been a lack of emphasis on util in the DPS category. And there used to be more. And that was very interesting. And it would be cool to see some of that come back. And that's it.